All right, I am live here. All right, it's my second live, so let's go ahead and build something out. Today I'm going to be building a lead scoring system. I'll go ahead and wait a couple minutes, let some people hop in if they go to hop in. If not, I'm going to build something anyways. It's going to be fun. All right, so yeah, if you're watching this, especially afterwards, the replay, I was live last week. It was my first live. Had a really good time doing it, and I built some cool things. And so I'm going to be doing it again. Probably doing this I'm going to work on doing this once a week. So if you happen to join in, feel free to leave a comment, drop a like, and in a couple minutes here, I'm going to actually start building it. All right. All right, so yeah, I'll actually just start covering it. I'm not sure how many people are going to be hopping in, but I'm going to start building it, and then I'm going to go over what I'm doing. I'm going to build it, and then afterwards, this will be live on my channel, and I might even just make this into a next YouTube video. Maybe I'll go and edit a little bit more or make a better one after this. But yeah, all right. So, okay, looks like maybe I got a couple people to join. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to be building an AI or a lead scoring system for when people opt in, filling out a form. Ideally, you'll have some questions on the form, and then the AI will go in and analyze it, and then it'll have different actions, outputs based on their form submissions. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started on this. I'm going to do entire screen. You have on your social media profiles or anything like that, people can fill out to join your program, or sign up for your service, whatever it may be, any type of qualification that you're doing for getting leads. So it's just simple. We got full name, email, phone, and then here's what's your current monthly revenue. And then they can choose from drop down. When do you want to start? They have some times when they want to start. The biggest challenge here. So one thing to note is if you have all drop downs or like specific answers that they do, then you can do this easily within the form builder within HighLevel, and you can score it that way. But if you have some type of field where they fill in, such as this, a large text box field, then you would need to use something like AI to analyze that. Then so the next question I have here is, have you invested in, so have you done this before? You invested in this program or something like this before? And then the other one is, what's your budget range for this? A lot of times businesses want to know what the budget is so that they know if they say they have, say, under $100, under $500, well, maybe that's too low to actually invest in this in your program. So that will play a factor in here. Okay, so that is the form. Now I'm going to go back into HighLevel here. I'm in my demo account. And where we're going to do this, I'm just going to go into the automation and start building the automation. So ideally, you'd probably have your form on a funnel, or like I said, you just have it in your social media profile, but probably you would have it on a funnel. Now you can do a survey or you can do a form. I just chose a form to make it simple for now. Either way, that'll work. So I'm going to come into here, and for the workflow, we're going to create a new workflow. I'm just going to start from scratch. And what I'm going to actually do, I'm going to switch over to the advanced builder just because it's the new feature on HighLevel, and the advanced builder I think is going to be what they're going to be doing. I think they're going to be moving forward, and I think there's more features to it. So it's going to be, I'm going to show it. I'm going to build it here and show this. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to set up the trigger in the workflow to be when somebody fills out the form. So I'm going to search form, choose form submitted. Now I always want to add a filter in, and because I always want to select this specific form. So this form, I think I called it interest form, something like that. We're going to save the trigger. So now we have the trigger there, and we'll name this, workflow to be lead scoring. And now that we have the trigger when they enter, next thing we're going to do is I'll actually just go through a couple of the standard things that I add whenever somebody opts in. And so first thing, usually what I do is I assign to a user. So we're going to do assign to user. We'll say select a user. We'll select me and then add action. So now we have that. And the reason I like to always assign to a user, let me see. Let me check this comment here. Question for you. I have GHL account in my CRM is RiaShift. How do I get my SMS leads to talk to my RiaShift CRM to update the not interested? Okay, so your CRM, not sure what CRM is that? Is that a white label of HighLevel, or is that actually, oh, I see. So it is another to depend on how do you get your SMS leads to talk? I would say, so if you're asking about when, like, say an SMS is sent out from, say, a HighLevel, you want that to be also reflected in that other CRM, and vice versa. When a lead responds, then is that what you're saying? You want the SMS to be back and forth in both systems? I don't think you can quite do, because I haven't seen any way of having SMS or email messages reflect in other CRMs or be able to output something like that. So I'm not quite sure on that. I mean, what you can do is you can set up a workflow where then you add in a webhook. So you would do a webhook, and then what you can do here is, so you put your webhook in, such as something like Make or Zapier, and then, well, you would have an SMS here on as the trigger. Say SMS comes in, or actually be customer replied. Let me just show that real quick. So your trigger will go here. For example, the trigger would be replied, customer replied. And then we would do reply channel, say SMS. And now you have a trigger here. I'll actually disconnect this. And then you would say, do something like a webhook. You put your webhook in there. I'll just pick something like this right now. And then now the message should go over, but if not, you can do this message. And then here you would pick the message and then the body. So now this will send over in the webhook, and then you can say, put that into your CRM, into the other CRM as like a note or something. I don't think you'd be able to put it in, say, like the timeline as what a SMS is, if that's what you're trying to do. But you can take that information and send it over. Same thing. If the other CRM receives an SMS, you can then possibly send a webhook, come back to HighLevel, put it in as a note, something like that. But in HighLevel, as far as getting it in like the conversation section, so like to have it show up in the timeline, I don't think that's possible. I don't know how you'd be able to do that. So hopefully that answered part of your question, and kind of not fully. I know that's probably not what you wanted, but I don't think it's actually possible that way. All right, so I'm going to continue back to what I was doing. And all right, so back to where I was. So we have the form submitted. We'll say form is that assigned to user. And then next thing I usually like to do is like to add it. You'd like to add a tag, but in this case, I'm going to add a tag afterwards when I do the if else based on the branch for the scoring. Because what I'm doing is I'm going to qualify the lead, score, and I'm going to have different branches go down for different actions to be taken. So form submitted, signed a user, and even create an opportunity, but I'm going to save that for last. So not last, but after the branches. So now what I'm going to do is I'm doing if else. I'm doing if else. And so now this is where we're going to actually got to score it first. So we're going to choose the action of, I think was it in OpenAI or it's chat. Yeah. I'm going to do this within HighLevel. Now you can also do it. You can send a webhook out to Make, and then you can receive the information back. I'm going to do this as much as I can in HighLevel, and then you can always go into Make to do it more detailed. And there's other things that you can do with that. Make or Zapier. I'm just going to be using HighLevel for now. So the model here, I'm going to choose actually the GPT-5 Nano is the latest one, and the cheapest one too. So this is just a basic scoring. We don't need any type of reasoning or any other type of strong AI that would cost more. So we're just going to use GPT-5 Nano. And then the custom action, there is, for this case, we're just going to do the custom action because we're putting a prompt in here. All right. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to pull up, I had previously created a prompt. And the way I did that was I explained what I wanted to do, and I used Claude, and then I had it create a prompt for me. Now I'm going to put the prompt in here. I actually haven't tested this out, so we'll see how this works out. Let's make sure got this pulled up. Okay, so now in the prompt here, one thing that we are going to have to do is we need to give it the input. So what this prompt is, let me show you. Actually, probably better if I do this. Let's bring this over. And here is you're a lead qualification expert. Analyze this form submission and assign a quality score from 1 to 5. You could do, say, 1 to 3, 1 to 5, different ways. But this one, I chose 1 through 5. So a score of 5 would be a hot lead. And we'll give it, say, green. This would be the most qualified. And here's some criteria in here. If the revenue is greater than 25K per month and the immediate timeline and a budget of 2K plus. And then there's some other criteria in here, or a clear specific problem. So based on what they type in, previous investment that helped and ready to start now. And then these are ready to buy prospects. And then it just goes down and there's different criteria based on their answers to give the warm, hot, lukewarm, cold, disqualified. And then the form data, actually, yeah. So we have the form data in here. So this is where the inputs are going to be. And then we have the output. Now, my suspicion is this output, we're going to have to restructure this. So we'll do this after we test it. Let me come back here and put that back. If you want to connect with me, go to the profile on my YouTube, and I'm pretty sure I have my a small count. I have my calendar link in there. I think for a 15-minute call, and we can get on, discuss some things, and see how I can help you out. If not, actually, I think I can put it in the chat here. Let me see. That link there. Yeah, that's my quick connect calendar. Yep, there you go. All right. Happy to help out. Happy to see how I can help you out. Yeah. Okay. So now we're back here, and as we go down here, we have the form data. This was created by Claude or an AI, but this is not necessarily the custom fields I created. So let me just show you what would have to be done first. Well, we actually already did it when I created the form. So we go down to the form. When you create the form, you get custom created, and as we look at it, we'll say revenue. So we'll come over here. Let me search revenue. And so now this is the unique key. So we're going to do it. I can copy this from here, or you actually do it right in the workflow builder. So the revenue, that's not the actual one. So I'm going to delete that out. And we're going to choose this little tag here. Go to contact, down to custom fields, and then we'll just search revenue. Why is it doing that? It's not putting it where the cursor is. All right, let's try it again. Maybe I didn't have the cursor there. So challenge, actually I did. Where's your biggest challenge? And yeah, of course, it's putting it down here. So we're gonna put that back up there. Previous investment. Type investment. And you know what? I'll just do this. What's the other one? Timeline and budget. So I'll just put them all in here for now. Timeline. Oh, how did I name that? Start. Let's apply this one. So we'll say start. Over here, we'll do start. When do you want to get started? And then the other one we need is the budget. So I think, have you invested? So I do have budget in here. So what I'm doing is just thinking about the keywords that are in the questions, and that's how I'm searching for it. Probably pretty self-explanatory, but budget. What's your budget? Okay. Now let me take all of these and move them to the right spots. So challenge, invested in coaching evaluation before. And then there's the next one. We'll move it down to the previous investment. Nope. When do you want to get started? That would be timeline. And then what is your biggest challenge right now? Oh, whoa. All right, it's all messed up. All right, biggest challenge right now. There we go. And have you invested in before? Previous investment. Whoa, what did I do? All right, put that back up. So revenue, investment, and then we have budget. Budget there. Timeline, when you want to start. Okay, so that is everything. Now, I really don't think this output's going to work, so we're going to have to play around with that. But that's the whole point of this live. So you see my thinking and how I actually solve these problems and how I build this out. Different than me just posting a YouTube video that shows exactly what to do. But this will give you my thinking and how I actually run through all this. So I'm going to save the action. Okay, so now we have that. And what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and put in the if else, because yeah, we can test it that way. So we'll go if else, and then we're going to say, I'm just going to do 3 branches in this. We'll put in, say, green. We'll say hot lead. And then we're going to select, so contact details. I also previously created these in here. Let me just show you. What I also, so we have those, but I have to have the lead scoring fields. So we'll go, I think we're going to name it score. Lead score, that's for the opportunity. I'll show that in a second. Lead score contact. Okay. So if I just show here, edit, we have, okay, so I put it as a number and then score category. That's what I did. So score category, I put as this: hot lead, warm lead, disqualified. Oops. So I have these in here. Now, if we come back, so for this hot lead, we're going to do the lead, call it the category, score category, or whatever you want to name it, is, no, sorry, we're not doing that. We're doing score because we're going to get the actual output. So lead score is, let's see. Since I'm going to do a 5 is, well, hot lead, we're going to put this as, what did my, yeah, hot lead. Okay. Hot lead, warm lead. Okay. So let's do this. So the hot lead is green. 4. So 3 and 4 is warm. And then these are disqualified. So yeah, we'll go hot lead. That's like the perfect prospect. They're green. The score of 3 and 4, they're like okay, they're iffy. I actually might do better 5 and 4. That's probably better. Yeah. Either way, I'm not gonna get hung up on this. But then scores of 2 and 1, we'll make them disqualified. All right. So let's come back here. So hot lead score, and we're gonna say is equal to 1. And now I'm gonna duplicate this branch out because we're gonna have 3 of them. And this is gonna be warm lead, and we're gonna say lead score of, sorry, in between, there's not in between. Okay. So we're gonna do lead score of 4. And we're gonna add an or. We're gonna do a lead score is equal to 3. And we're gonna duplicate this out. Let's put in disqualified. And let's make this a lead score of 2 and a lead score of 1. Okay, so whenever each of those come through, they'll go down that branch. So we'll save that. And now we have the 3 different branches, and then always the none branch. So now the way I test this, because one, just the way looking at the prompt, I don't think it's actually going to produce the correct results to output here. So what we're going to have to do, actually, wait, I totally didn't think about that, right? Come on, open up. Oh, here we go. You're going to add in, oh yeah, GPT. Yeah, see, it's just going to give one response. That's not going to work. I know this is not going to work, but right now I just need to get the outputs to see how the outputs is, then we'll modify that. So save that action. Now, the way I test this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a wait step. We'll just do something like 999 days. I like to do temp whenever I'm building these out. So now I have this temporary wait step, and I'll show you why in a second. Copy the action, paste it here. You can just do Command V, then you connect it, paste again. Oops, cancel. Move this one down, connect it here. I'm also going to do the none branch because I know this first one's going to go down the none branch. So I'll paste in another one, and then we will connect it there. It's weird when you paste it, even though it's a wait step, you still need to, in this new advanced workflow builder, really something they can probably fix. But because a little warning sign says you got to set it up, even though it already is set up, but click into it, click save action, click on this one, save action, click on this one, save action. Mitchell said that would not be worth it. Qualify or book an appointment HighLevel and then send the appointment info to the other platform. Oh, Mitchell, are you replying back to, are you referring to Dre too much, his comments? Yeah, I think, yeah, I kind of see what you mean. Okay. All right. So now that I have these here and it's saved, what I'm going to do, we're going to test this out. And I guarantee you it's going to go down the none branch and we'll get that fixed. So first I'm going to publish it, save it. Now I have one thing to note about the advanced workflow builder. When it is in draft, autosave, if you have the autosave on, it autosaves. But it doesn't autosave if it's published, which makes sense. You don't want to be working on something that's already published live and then you do something wrong and then it does the wrong thing because you weren't ready to save it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the form here, and I actually did have, let's see here, where is it? Oh, we'll do this. We'll say Aaron Hot. We'll just do an email. All right, so I'm going to put this in here. We'll say hot@gmail.com. Doesn't matter. I'm not sending out any emails on this. Phone, whatever. Do that once, and then Let me find it real quick. I had some predefined. Yeah, here we go. Where is it? Bear with me 1 second. I was trying to find something. Okay, here we go. All right, so for this one, I just had some pre-set up answers to some of these questions so that we can make sure we have the correct, or so I know it goes down the correct branch with the correct scoring. So we'll go over 100,000. When do you want to start? Immediately. Biggest challenge. Let's go ahead and paste this in. Just saying we're doing 150K per month, but our fulfillment is completely manual, eating up 60 hours per week, blah, blah, blah. We really need a proven system. Cool. Okay. Have you invested before? This is yes and helped, and I need more. What's your biggest range for solving this? We're going to say, oh, yeah, but sure, biggest range, budget range. Huh. And so they have these in here. I'll have to check the boxes. Hey, what's up, Zane? Welcome. All right, so I'm going to submit this. And so that should be our hot prospect. Now we're coming back into the workflow. And a quick way to, instead of refreshing the screen, I always teach this because if I click on the refresh from the browser, it takes longer to refresh the page. So an easy way to see where the contact is, just click on one of these tabs up on top here. We'll go to settings. So we go back to builder. And now if we look, our contact is down here, our lead's down here. And so if we look, he went down the none branch, which means it didn't work for any of these conditions. So how do we know what the actual output was? Well, you can't really tell from looking at this screen. So the way you do is you go to the execution logs. Now we're going to see, okay, it was added to workflow because filled out the form, assigned to user, that was success. Now GPT, here is, so the message. I could have swore that, oh wait, GPT response, yeah. Score of 5, category, reasoning. All right, so that, what we're getting on this output is on the score, the category, the reasoning. Actually, I don't need the recommended action. I'll remove that. I don't know. I don't think we need that. But we see here we got score, category, revenue, or reasoning. Yeah, so since that didn't work, the way we were going to do this, a couple different ideas. Now I know I could do this in Make, what I'm going to do next. I'm going to test it here in HighLevel. I actually haven't tested this out. So I'm going to come back to, let's see here. Bring Claude back up. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to bring up the output, and I'm going to say, let's do this. So I want to, if I can get it in JSON format, then I can use those outputs. And so I'm going to test it with HighLevel, see if that works. If not, then we'll just have to have it output just one thing, a score of 1 through 5. But let's test this out. I could write the JSON. It'll just take a little bit, so we'll have Claude write it real quick. I'm going to do Claude or GPT, either way. I'm going to just say, 1 second. I hate when I like how it does this. Okay. Modes. Just got to change this. All right. Can you restructure the output so that it outputs in JSON format? I provided the output below so you have it for reference. All right, from the problem from scoring. So now we'll submit that, and that should give us a quick JSON. All right, it's going to give us the whole thing. Okay, here we go. Output format. So if I just copy this. All right, now we're going to come back over here and make sure I have comments pulled up so I can still see my comments. All right. Expand this out. Now we're going to output format. I'm going to replace this with there. Okay. Output format. No. Score. That's not right. What did I say? Oh, I just got to do this. Score. Category. Explain why the score, reasoning, recommend action, what should happen next. Okay. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to save this. And now a way to test it, I could go fill the form out again, but that takes sometimes more time. So what I'm going to do, easy way is I can just disconnect this. I can bring this over here because whenever you move an action within the workflow in HighLevel, if you have contacts in it, the contacts move with that action. So now I can just disconnect this here. I can connect over here. And I think it still has to be connected here. And then now I can send it through again. But what I want to do is I want to copy this because I want this to be over here, paste it in so that the contact gets held again. All right, save action. So now we have this. And what I can do is save, and then I can force this contact through. And let's see, force them to the next step. Let's say go enrollment history, back to builder. So it's going through GPT. Let's go to the execution logs here. Refresh. Oh. None. Okay. Contact, score, response. Nope, that's not what we're looking for. Did it go through? Okay, it did. Execution logs. There we go. Didn't refresh yet. Now let's pull up the output here. Response, score. Okay, so it did go in JSON, but now let's see, does HighLevel actually split it up? So if we go into the conditions here, the response, if we go down to GPT response, no, it doesn't. Okay, so it's not doing that. So what I'm going to show here is we're going to have to change this up. And then I might even show you guys how to do it using make. But now what I'm going to do, just copy this whole thing so I have it. But first we're going to do it in HighLevel. So we're going to do the simple way now. Output format. I don't need it to say that. All I needed to say, just output the score. Just output the score. Just output the score as a number 1 through 5. Nothing else. All right, save that. Do the same thing. We're going to disconnect here, move this one over. We'll just disconnect this guy, disconnect here, and we'll connect back over here. Hey, thank you, Zane. Appreciate those comments. Awesome. All right, so now we're going to connect this over here, save, and we're going to test this again. So pick the contact, force them to the next step, move all, come back to execution logs, and we have, so that's 235, refresh. Okay, let's see what we got now. 5. Good. So we got just a number response of 5. But why didn't that? Did he go up here? No, he came down here again. Why is that? Lead score. Oh, because I set it to 1. Huh. Brain fart. That needs to be 5. And that needs to be 5. Response is 5. But still, oh, I don't have 5 anywhere. That's why. All right. So you want to check that stuff. We're going to do this test one more time. I'm going to disconnect here. We're going to come back, disconnect, move over here, connect there, connect again, save it. Oh, another note. So I said you can always move actions around and it'll move with the context. Before you actually force them to the next step, you always have to make sure you click save, especially if it's published. Because if you don't click save, the system still thinks it's over here. It doesn't actually, it's like phantom hasn't moved until you save it. So even though the context shows here, it would actually have ended the workflow for him if I didn't click save. Now I'm going to force the contact through. Actually, I'll just show you another way too. You can do it this way, or you can come to the enrollment history and see where they're at. So the next action, we'll click force next step. Now go to the execution logs and let's see what happens. There we go. Boom, we already got the hot lead. Great. Response 5, hot lead. There we go. Great. And now, if we look, okay, so now it went down the correct path. So now we can actually go and build out different actions based on what their lead score is. So in here, we're going to, let's go ahead and add a tag, add a contact tag. We're going to call this, we'll just say hot lead. Hot lead, I always like to name my steps. And then we have the tag there. Again, you can click on it and you can command copy, especially with the new workflow builder. It makes it really easy. And then you can do command V, and command V again. Actually, we probably don't need on the none branch. So let me delete that one, delete, connect them. But this we're going to change out to, we'll say, I don't know, warm lead. Save that, and we're going to do disqualified. Disqualified. Add tag. Okay. So now we got those. Next, let's add in. So this is, we're set hot lead, very, very qualified prospects. So what I want to do is we're going to do a notification. Send an internal notification. And this one, for example, let's send an SMS, get the assigned user their attention. So I'm going to say send to assigned user, internal, we'll just SMS, and then we'll say you have a new lead or a new hot lead. Call them now. And I want to put the name. And we'll make it simple since text. I like to do this, full name. This little, I don't know what this is called, this little symbol right above the enter key, return key. And then email, and then phone. So now the person will have that information. So got that SMS there. And again, we can do, maybe you also want to send a Slack message. So you can do that as well. Slack right here, or send a webhook out, do Slack. I won't necessarily set that up right now. But the other really cool feature I want to add in is we'll do call, and we're going to do call. So what this is, whisper message. So this is a call connect feature. It's actually kind of a hidden feature, and not hidden, but I feel it's not talked about in HighLevel that much. So what this one is, this is when the contact gets to this step, the assigned user's phone will ring. So we'll say the business owner, their phone will ring. They'll answer it, they'll hear an automated message. We'll say, you have a new hot lead. Call them now. Or you have a new hot lead. Their name is, we'll put contact full name. Call them now. Or no, we know that. Press any key to connect with them. So what this does, if a lead came in and say I was the assigned owner, my phone would ring. I would pick it up, I would answer, I would hear this automated message. You have a new hot lead. Their name is Bob Smith. Press any key to connect with them. Press any key on my phone, and then what it does, then it dials out to the contact. And if they answer, I'm immediately talking to them. So now I don't have to worry about, oh, I got a lead. Cool. Let me copy their number, go to my phone app, and then paste it in, then call them. A lot of extra steps. This just happens. Yep. Okay. So then that's a great way to connect with your contacts quickly. Now, if you don't answer the phone, or if you don't press any key on your phone, on the number pad, then it will actually call out to the contact. So if you're busy or you just don't want to talk at that point, you either just hang up during the automated message or don't even answer in the first place, and it won't actually call the contact. It's only when you press any key. Okay, so we'll save that. That is a feature that you want to have in there. Now let's go ahead and add an opportunity. So let's do opportunity. We're going to create an opportunity. And then we're going to add them into the pipeline. Let's get the leads pipeline. Put them in the pipeline stage. We'll say, in this case, we'll go straight to the hot lead. We're not going to go to the new lead. We're going to go to hot lead. And I like to put in opportunity name. By default, it usually just does the full name, but I always just do it just anyways. And that'll be it. Oh, another field I want to add in. Yeah, I do have here. Okay. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to show you this, what we can do. Let's go back up to my other tab here. And I created, we're going to do, so under opportunity, I created in here, so you can have custom fields for opportunity as well. So if I add a field here and I do, we'll say, drop down or whatever one next, and the object, if I choose opportunity, now you have custom fields for opportunities. So what I did for this one, we'll say this one was lead score. And it's just these, it's a drop down. So it's these three options. What we're going to do, and if I back out of here and I go to opportunities, over here, if you click on manage fields, you can choose what you want to see on the opportunity card. And you choose compact, unlabeled, default. We'll leave it at default. But then down here, so usually it's not there. Oh yeah. Opportunity details, this is where your custom fields for opportunities are going to be. So I created the leads score, and we'll say the leads result, because I think I did that one as well. And now if we save this, sure, we'll save for all pipelines. But now let's click into, say, this one here. And then come down here. These are the custom fields. So lead score, we'll say it's a hot lead. And the result, I think I was testing out before if it had to be a number, or I could do the drop down. But we'll say lead score, we'll keep it at that. When I update and close this up, and now let me refresh the page just by going to contacts, back to opportunities. Quicker way to refresh it than refreshing the browser. And now this will give you, especially if you put little emojis in there, will give you a visual way of seeing, the lead score. Well, at this point, would he be over here by now? But then you can quickly look through and see, yellows, greens, reds, easily to find out the contacts, what their scores are, so better visual representation. So now in the workflow, how do we do that? In the opportunity, we're going to add more details to it. Add a field, and we're going to come down to the leads score, and then we're going to do hot lead. So now it'll fill that in. And I think just as I was playing around with it, lead result, I think that was a number. So say you were to do that as well, or this one instead, then now we can come here and do GPT and do the response. So that will fill in the number there. Save that, and now we have that opportunity. So again, I can go in, copy this, paste it here, connect. We'll update this. Actually, we'll do this instead. I'm going to delete this. Oh, never mind. I want to do this. All right, copy this, paste it here, paste another one. Yeah. Now in this one, okay, we're going to change this one to just on the new leads column. The lead scores is under the warm branch, and we'll save that. And then this one, just going to be the opposites, or the other one. Again, new lead, disqualified, and we'll save that. Here, we might want to add in internal notification. Again, you can do another email, you can do a notification or a SMS or WhatsApp. In this case, yeah, let's just do the notification is a push notification if you have the HighLevel app on your phone. So I'm going to do this. We're going to say new warm lead. And then we put contact's full name. In the message body, let's go with score. And we'll put the GPT, the response in. And I'm going to do also, just so it has the information, contact, email. We'll do this little line again, and phone. Oh yeah. Redirect page, that's when you tap on the notification. Where does it take you to? We're going to, let's take to the conversations that we can go and respond to them. User type, I'm just going to do the user assigned to the contact. We'll save that, and now we have that notification in there. Let's rename this to push notification. Have the opportunity, tags, and this one we're going to, you know what? I'm not even going to do an opportunity for this one. Yeah, we're just going to delete that out. And next here, let's go ahead and, well, you know what? What I would probably say to do, so do internal notification. Let's add in before the call, let's have a message go out to the contact. So let's send an email. Hello. I'm not going to write the copy now. You can write the copy. Hi, contact first name. You're awesome because, no, I'm now just messing around. So you're awesome because you're highly qualified. Well, anyways, fill in the copy there. We'll save that action. And so now they'll get an email and maybe also want to send out an SMS. And the reason I'm doing this is because whenever somebody fills out a form, it's always a good idea to immediately send them an email, even a text message if we're collecting phone numbers, but at least send out an email. It's always great practice to send something to them so they know that their form was received and the company has received their information. Better than waiting 5, 10, 15 minutes the next day or manually reaching out. So there's that. And in here, maybe you do something like, great, now book a call with us. Obviously, write better copy, and then put your link in here. Booking.com, that's actually a website. bookhere.com. Whatever. Put your calendar link in there so they can book a call with you. Maybe in this one over here, maybe you just want to send them, maybe you have a PDF, you have a resource, you want to give them more information. So in that case, read up on this. I don't know. Put something there. Now on this one down here, I don't want to not send them anything. I want to still send them something because they might copy that, paste it here. Just because they're not qualified, it could be they're not qualified now, but maybe in a couple months they are. And so it's a good idea, still send them something. Say, I don't know, sorry, you don't currently qualify. Here are some great resources to help you out. I don't know, something like that. Or maybe send them a bunch of your free resources so they can actually get value out of from your business, and then maybe in the future they will become a client. Okay, and now I have this gap here because I want to send them an email, I want to send them text. You can add the text in here down as well, but in this case, let's do a wait step. Let's say like 5 minutes. If I'm sending them a calendar link in the email and the text, well, let me give them a couple minutes to actually book a call because they might just book a call on their own. But if not, then my call action will happen here, and then I'll be able to talk to them on the phone and find out if they're actually qualified and get them booked and just start building that rapport. But maybe I don't want to do it with this one. I just want to have like the sequence nurture them. So then you can go and build out this nurture sequence and just continue on with that. Opportunity. So then the call. Ooh, no, we want to move the opportunity, whatever, somewhere here before the wait step. So I'll bring that down here, this over here, and move this over here. And then say after this, we continue on. Let's do wait a day. Save action. And then maybe I'm just going to start, copy that, send an email, connect this, write my follow-up email for the next day. We'll say email 2. And now what you can do is, say you wanted to add in some nurture sequence, 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, something like that. You can actually, if you hold shift, then you can highlight multiple actions. Hold shift, highlight these 2 actions. No, actually you can. Each different software has different, what am I trying to say? Each canvas and different softwares have the way they're set up by default. HighLevel's canvas, by default, I can just, when I drag, it's going to create a box. And some of them you have to hold shift to do it, because sometimes if I switch this to selection mode, now if I grab the screen, I can drag it around, but now I can't create a box, but I can by holding shift. Just a little side note for you to know. So we'll do selection mode. And so now what you can do is we'll highlight this, and I can copy, and I can paste. And then I can just go down the line, and I can paste again, and just continue this on for however many days I want to do the nurture sequence. Now I just go in and edit the emails, edit the wait steps. Maybe this one I want to wait 2 days. And so then continue on with that nurture sequence. Same thing down here. Okay. If anybody's on here, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. I'll answer them. Or if you guys have other ideas for this, just to learn more, let's go ahead and go with that. So let's see. Let me check my notes. I had some other things to cover in here. But let's actually, think, okay. Let's actually go test out a different, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to test a different response now just to make sure that the prompt is correct. Now, what you can always do is in the prompt here, I mean, go and test it multiple times, make sure the prompt's working for you. Again, you can always just copy the whole prompt, go back in Chat GPT, go into Claude, say, paste the prompt in there, or you may already have a thread of that's created the prompt, and then this didn't quite work out. It was supposed to go down the warm lead branch and it didn't because of this, or change this criteria up. You can have AI help you out with that criteria. But now we're just going to test this. So I'm going to save that and let's go ahead and back to the form, refresh the form. Now let's do Bob 2. I'm going to say warm. We'll do 2 for different contact. And let me get back. All right. Oh, here we go. 5 to 25. Do this. I'm getting leads, but my follow-up is inconsistent. Sometimes I respond right away, other times I don't. When do you want to start? Within the next month. Have you invested? No, I've never tried. What's your budget? 5 to 2,000. Okay. Submit this. Come back here. Let's go to the execution logs. Okay, so add a workflow, assign to the user, refresh. It's going through GPT right now. Keep clicking refresh, refresh, come on. There we go. Response 4, perfect. And non-branch. Oh, I didn't update that, that's right. And that's another thing, that's always why you test. So, come here, condition. I didn't do the GPT. What I did was, all right, well, I'll show you this too, because I could do the GPT response, but I can also do this because you also probably want to use it later. So I'm going to add another action here. And this one, I'm going to update a contact field. In here, I'm going to choose the score, lead score, and we're going to choose the GPT output response. We'll say lead score, save. So now it's going to update that. And now what this will do, this will use the lead score from this one. So now we'll go down the right branch instead of me having to go through and change all of these up. There, a little simpler that way. But also now it'll have the lead score set up so that if I go over to the contacts profile, we'll say go into Donna here. These are all test contacts, by the way. If we come down to, I think I put additional info, you'll then have the lead score right here just so you can see it and visually see it. Then you can also do filtering in make a smart list in your contacts page and filter by all the people with lead score of 5 or lead score of 4, whatever you want to do based on, whatever you want to do, and analysis, things like that. And so now let's test this one more time. Disconnect here. And we will, nope, gotta do it over here. Disconnect, connect, move this over here, connect, save, and we'll say, Bob, go. Force him to the next step. So now he's gonna go do this again, and we should see him show up here. Let's go to the execution logs. 3 o'clock, Nope. Refresh. Come on. There we go. Response 4. And update the field. And now we did see it went down to warm lead branch. Perfect. So if we go back to builder, we'll see it's over here now. Another thing, okay, what I was going to add in as well as I still can. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think HighLevel can get a response and have it parsed in JSON. I might be able to do that I think there's like a new code builder in here, which I haven't played around with yet. Decision maker. Also, I don't really know code, so I'd have to use AI to help me build that. But what I'm looking for, see, I think you could do this custom code. So I think you could take the output, especially if it was in JSON, and then you can have the custom code action. I would imagine something like this. You can have it, hey, take this JSON input and output into multiple outputs. And then you can use those multiple outputs down here. I think you'd be able to do it that way. I'm just not 100% sure on that. It's something new I have to figure out and test. But the other way you can do it is you could send a webhook out to, say, Make or Zapier, where that can go and then do the analysis and then produce 3 different outputs, say the score, the category, and the reason, and then come back into HighLevel here. I can show that. We're already at an hour here. If anybody is on here who want to see that, I can show it real quick. If not, I can maybe just do that later on another video or something. Because what I would do over here is I would also add in, especially if you can get those extra answers, then I would add in a add to notes. Either add to notes or update the contact fields, and then just have, say, like score reasoning. I would have that here. But it's kind of nice to have in the notes as well. So I would just do this, lead score, and then we would say, you can do the GPT response, or however you get that. So you do the lead score here, and then you can do the reasoning, and then you have all of that information. Then you would have your note here for the contact. That is okay. So if anybody's still here, anybody have any questions? I think I'm going to close this up here. Or if not, I mean, I'll continue on for a little bit more. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments or in the chat bot there, the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. If not, then I'm going to probably sign off here, and I'll see you guys next week. Give another minute or two. Okay. Let's see. What else can we do here? Well, I'm just thinking for a second. What other actions can we add in? If you really wanted to be bold, under the disqualified, say, or maybe if they score a 1, maybe not 2, maybe do another branch if they score a 1, then maybe you go down here and you actually just delete the contact, because maybe it was a bot, or maybe they're just a really bad contact and you don't even want to deal with it, don't even want them to clutter up your systems. Then you can just delete contact. Maybe even add a task up here on, say, one of the top one, when the hot lead, add a task, so you can go to your task manager within HighLevel. Number of things you can do. You would just get creative. Look through all the actions here and the apps. What I always tell people, especially if you're, say, new to HighLevel and workflows maybe seem kind of daunting, a lot of could be so many options to do. Another little tip here. I always tell people, when you first get into HighLevel and you come to a workflow, spend, say, 30 minutes, a little bit of time, go to the triggers, and then just skim through all the triggers that are here, especially like, what can I automate in my business? I don't know what I can automate. What do I do repetitively? I don't know. So then scroll through here and look, okay, birthday reminder. What does that do? Well, if I click on that, okay, so add a filter and I look, oh, number of days after, number of days before, or month. Okay, so if I did number of days, say before, then what this would do is, oh, this could trigger the contact if they have their birthday field filled in. They'll get added to the workflow, and then that'd be a day before. So then just maybe send me a reminder or send me a message, and then I can reach out to that contact that next day or the day before, say, hey, happy birthday. So you can do that. What I'm getting at is I just say, come through all the triggers and see what there is. And it's a good idea to click on each one of them to see what the options are, just like I did with the birthday reminder, the filters. Another one, if we go down to like form submitted or say trigger link clicked, okay, you would choose which trigger link, or if they have a certain custom field, and add these filters in. By doing that, by looking through all the triggers, looking through all the actions as well. So take a little bit of time to go through all the triggers, a little time to go through all the actions. I'm not saying study every single one. I'm just saying kind of go through them and skim and say, oh, I can create a contact, I can find a contact, I can update a contact field, I can add a tag or remove a tag, I can add a task, I could send an email, send a Slack, send a voicemail drop. All these things I can do. So then I can get your brain spinning on what you can automate when it comes time when you want to automate something. Maybe you're going through and every day you have a task that or something you're doing constantly every day. You're like, man, I do this repetitively. Oh, wait, I remember there's a trigger in the workflows that I can trigger that action. There's also actions I can do when that happens. Cool. So then we go make a workflow out of it. That's what I suggest. Go through and look to see what all the actions are in here and then just get an idea. So then when you're ready, when something comes up, you can easily go and uh, build a workflow for it. At least you'll know what you can automate. All right, so that's my little spiel there about kind of learning workflows. Now there's other ways to learn workflows too, but instead of going and learning everything, just go and kind of get an idea, see what is capable. Because whenever people come to me for workflow or automation ideas, like, oh, I want to do this. Can I do this? My head already goes through, oh, there's a trigger in there. There's an action for that. Okay, I can basically start building in my head. But I've been in high level workflows, been using HighLevel for 5 years now, started in 2020. And so I was back even before workflows were a thing. They had triggers and campaigns, if anybody knows about that. And so, yeah, but I've been in here so much, built so many workflows that I just know all the actions, all the triggers, what can be done. So that's why I can build these elaborate workflows. And so that's really what I recommend doing is just going through the triggers and actions and seeing what is capable of that. All right, I think we're good here. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off now. We're at a little bit over the hour now and built out this automation, at least the skeleton for it. With lead scoring, I'll do a quick recap. So we'll just delete this here. Quick recap what this is. When somebody fills out a form, such as this form, and it has different questions on it. Which current revenue, when you want to start, biggest challenge. You have questions, kind of qualifying questions. What it's going to do is first thing I have it after they fill out the form is assign it to a user. Then I have it going through ChatGPT. Here's a prompt in here that's going to give them a score based on their answers. And then it's going to output the score of just 1 through 5. It's going to update the lead score, their custom field, with that GPT response, so the score of 1 through 5. Then it's going to go down the if-else branch. And if the score is a 5, I'll go down to hot leads. If the score is 4 or 3, I'll go down warm. Disqualified is if they have a score of 1 or 2. And then I just have these wait steps in here just for testing. So I'm not sending out all these notifications and emails to myself. And as of right now, these are not actual emails or phone numbers. So I wouldn't want to hurt my reputation. So I just do these wait steps to test it out. So these will actually be deleted when I go live. But then next is I have a note being added to say the hot leads with their score, and then adding a tag, either hot lead, warm lead, or disqualified. Then I send an SMS notification to the assigned user. Hey, you have a new hot lead, contact them. We'll send an email and an SMS to the contact immediately. We'll create an opportunity, and we're going to have the lead score in there, and we'll put them in the hot lead stage. Wait 5 minutes, because talking about that in the email, they will have, for example, you'd have something like book a call here. But if they don't book within 5 minutes, then we'll do this call connect feature. So then you can easily talk to the contact or get a hold of the contact, call them, and then just a nurture sequence. And then the warm lead branch, add the tag. This is just a push notification. So this is, if you have the HighLevel app on your phone, it'll send a push notification. Send out an email. You can add an SMS too. I just didn't do all that now. And then the opportunity, and we're going to do the custom field of the warm lead, put them in just the new lead stage as opposed to the hot lead stage. And then disqualified, we'll just disqualified lead, send them out an email with maybe other additional resources. Of course, you can add on more nurture sequence, and that's what I would do in this scenario. But that's a recap of this scenario that I built. And if you click on this over this one right here, format tree, what it's going to do, it aligns everything in a straight line. So you need to do that, because maybe you're moving things all around like this. There you go. Everything moving out as you're building it out. Oh no, it's a big mess. Realign. Should. Yeah, there you go. Reline. All right, I'm going to save that. And I am going to sign off now. So thanks everybody for joining me. Appreciate you having me here, and I appreciate you being here. And I'll see you guys next week, where we'll build something else. So if you guys have any other questions or ideas on what you want me to build, go ahead and drop in the comments, send me messages, and we'll go ahead and build something out for you.